Have you noticed how strangely we live? We read books, listen to lectures, scroll through hundreds of posts, yet in the most important moments, we don't know what to do. A lot of information, but little wisdom. Many words, yet we are not heard. Relationships become dull. The mind is blurry. And making decisions feels painful. This is exactly what we will work with today. Today, we continue the topic of Vedic femininity, but we will go deeper into the aspect of wisdom and inspiration, into the energy of Saraswati. Let's briefly recall what we discussed in the previous video in the Vedas. The feminine nature is not only about being pretty and convenient. Femininity rests on three energies: Lakshmi, beauty, and prosperity. Saraswati, wisdom, inspiration, speech, creativity. Durga, protection, inner strength, the ability to say no. We already talked about Lakshmi. Today, a different question arises. Why do many women feel empty, anxious, or bored inside, even if everything looks fine on the outside? Why are we not listened to? Why is our opinion not respected, even when we know so much? The answer is a weak inner aspect of Saraswati. What is the real problem? The modern woman often lives like this: constant fatigue, overloaded with information, difficult to make decisions. The inner voice feels muted. People interrupt her, don't listen until the end. In relationships, either tension or boredom. A man might say, "You're good. You do everything right," but there is little inspiration around you. It's calm with you, but not alive. He doesn't say it directly. He just withdraws, sensing that something is missing. Even if everything looks okay, this is not about intellect. It is about the lack of living, flowing feminine wisdom. Who is Saraswati? Saraswati is the Vedic goddess of knowledge, wisdom, speech, music, and all arts. She is also the Shakti, divine energy, and consort of Brahma. She is one of the three great goddesses of the Tridevi, along with Lakshmi and Parvati. How does Saraswati look? Imagine a heavenly goddess dressed in a white sari, seated on a white lotus, a symbol of purity, sattva, and knowledge free from passion. She usually has 4 hands, holding veena, a string instrument symbolizing harmony of arts and sciences. A book or Vedic scripture's symbol of knowledge. Mala beads, spiritual discipline, and mantra. A pot of water, purification. Her vehicle, Vahana, is a swan or goose, sometimes a peacock. How does Saraswati manifest in every woman? Her energy is not dry, bookish knowledge. It is when thoughts come easily. Decisions arrive at the right moment. Words are soft but accurate. People feel clarity and calm next to you. A man beside you doesn't fall asleep. He awakens. This is the wisdom of the right hemisphere. Intuition. Creativity. Timing. Not I know better, but I sense what is right now. How to know if you lack Saraswati sins. Constant doubt, replaying situations in your head. Mind feels exhausted after talking, studying, or working. Ideas appear but quickly fade. No inspiration to finish them. Difficult to speak about what really matters. You either say nothing or speak harshly. You get bored with yourself. Your life doesn't inspire you. If you recognize yourself here, that inner pain is exactly what Saraswati works with. What you will gain after this lecture, you will understand how feminine wisdom works. See why simply filling your head with knowledge is not enough. Receive simple practices to invite Saraswati into your life through body, speech, space, relationships, and mantra. Let's begin with the body and nutrition to make the mind fluid. Not heavy, Saraswati is like a river. She needs flow. If the body runs only on coffee, stress, and quick snacks, the mind becomes dry and rigid. What helps? Enough water and warm drinks. Milk or plant-based alternatives. Light food before mental work. We don't need a food coma. We need a clear, soft mind. Using clothing and space as language. Traditionally, Saraswati is connected to bright colors, especially white. This is not magic, but psychology. When clothing and space are light and airy, the mind comes clearer and more focused. Try this before an important conversation. Study session? or consultation. Wear something light-colored. Tidy your workspace, open a window, let in air and sunlight. Even a single bright element can change how you feel inside. Use creativity as fuel for wisdom. Saraswati governs art and speech. And the secret is, it's not about perfection, but being in the process of creating what strengthens. Saraswati, singing, even at home. Just for yourself, playing any instrument. Drawing, crafting, dancing, learning languages. Reading mantras or prayers aloud. It's not about being a genius. It is about keeping the mind alive, not turning it into a storage room of other people's ideas. Let your speech inspire, not hurt. In the tradition it is said, Saraswati sits on the tongue. We speak sharply. Gossip or argue, the energy of speech sinks downwards. Basic principles. First, truth. Then, softness. Speak honestly, but without destroying others. Less showing off, more sensing the moment. A man does not fall in love with a dictionary inside a woman. He is inspired when he feels that her words come from depth and align with reality and learn conscious silence. Sometimes Saraswati is not a stream of words, but wise silence. When it is not the time to speak, use thin channels of inspiration. For example, birdsong, classical and airy music. Silence of nature and fresh air, notice. After walking by water, in a park or in mountains, suddenly it becomes easier to think. This is not a coincidence. It is prana, vital energy filling your mind. And Saraswati gets space to work. Small practice for you, at least once a week. Spend 30 to 60 minutes outside without your phone. Just listen. Wind, birds, rustling leaves. Let thoughts expand without solving problems immediately. Learning without overload, how not to turn knowledge into burden. A common pain among women. I've studied so much, took so many courses and still feel empty, unrealized. Reason knowledge that is not applied becomes heavy and causes inner guilt. Saraswati's main rule. If you study something, think in advance how and for whom you will use it. Even a little sharing already opens the flow. Tell a friend, make a small project, host a mini-meeting. Write a short post. Unused knowledge becomes stagnation and inner heaviness. Saraswati is about flow, not storage. And finally, the strongest tool. The word directed toward the divine. There is a traditional mantra of Saraswati. It can be chanted gently, not fanatically, as a sincere request. Om Aim Saraswati Unamayish. How to practice. Choose a calm time, morning or evening. Sit quietly, take a few deep breaths, address the energy of wisdom. Help me see clearly. Speak kindly and truthfully. Make decisions without fear or confusion. Repeat the mantra 2754 or 108 times as you can. The meaning is not in the magic number, but in regularity. Sound slowly changes the inner atmosphere, and where there was fear and confusion, clarity starts to appear. If we gather everything into one thought, it is this. A woman burns out not because she lacks knowledge, but because she lives without inspiration, without inner guidance, without permission to trust her intuition. The energy of Saraswati returns, lightness of thought, soft but strong speech, curiosity about life, the feeling that your voice is heard and respected, and then Lakshmi's beauty and Durga's strength. Take their rightful place. If inspiration spoke inside you, don't lose it. Subscribe and let Vedic wisdom guide us further. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like,